Good day and welcome. You're watching Sint Maarten NEWSDESK, where we bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond. With your anchor crew, Alston Lawrence, Glenda York, Tiziana Hart, and Mizzy with the Sunshine Report. This broadcast is brought to you by TV15 and proudly produced by Great Bay Media Studios in Philipsburg, Sint Maarten. And now, let's jump straight into today's top headlines.
$53 million budgeted for new Pointe Blanche prison. Approximately $53 million has been budgeted for Sint Maarten's new Pointe Blanche prison. Justice Minister the Honorable Natalie Tacklin says construction began in January and is expected to be completed by July 2028. The project is being implemented by the United Nations Office for Project Services under the Detention Sector Reform Program. Demolition, groundwork, and preparations for the construction camp were underway by July. The new prison will accommodate up to 196 inmates, more than double the country's current detention capacity. Plans include health care services, family visitation areas, recreational facilities, workshops, and classrooms for vocational training. Approximately half of the cells and the administration building are expected to be delivered during the third quarter of 2027. The minister clarified that the prison's zero allocation in the 2026 capital budget does not mean construction has stopped. The project is being financed separately through contributions from Sint Maarten and the Netherlands and administered by UNOPS. Government says the facility was designed according to international standards for humane detention. Government collects 8 million guilders from gaming sector. Government collects approximately 8 million Caribbean guilders annually from Sint Maarten's casino and lottery sectors, but says current fees require further review. Figures submitted to Parliament show casinos generated 460,000 guilders in government revenue each month during the first half of 2026. Monthly lottery revenue ranged from approximately 180,000 to 183,000 guilders over the same period. Casino and lottery operators currently pay license fees under the existing gaming ordinance. The finance minister says further fiscal assessment is needed to determine whether the 8 million guilder annual collection adequately reflects the industry's overall economic activity. Government also acknowledges that the present regulatory system requires modernization. The ongoing gaming reform will introduce a new licensing and supervisory framework. Applicable fees and regulatory levies are being assessed to ensure the industry contributes appropriately to the cost of its oversight while protecting Sint Maarten's broader financial interest. The minister says current collections should not determine what the gaming sector will be expected to contribute under the future framework. Court convicts final 2 defendants in Jasmine investigation. The court of first instance has convicted the remaining 2 defendants in the Jasmine corruption investigation. MR and JEB were found guilty of jointly committing fraud and money laundering. MR was also convicted of abuse of office. The former Vromi chief of cabinet received a 16-month prison sentence with 6 months suspended and a 2-year probation period. She was also disqualified from working as a civil servant for 5 years. JEB received 240 hours of community service and a 6-month suspended prison sentence with 2 years probation. The case involved irregularities in government projects following Hurricane Irma. Prosecutors said the defendants jointly owned the company-awarded contracts for bridge repairs, roadside barriers, railings, and a basketball court. The court found that falsified quotations were used to create the appearance of a competitive procurement process. Lower sentences were imposed partly because the proceedings exceeded the reasonable time requirement. 3 other defendants in the wider Jasmine investigation received judgments in March.
Hello, my people. My name is Glenna York of Sit, Sip and Chat and Moms in Paradise podcast. You can find us on TV15 Sint Maarten, TVC St. Kitts, and on YouTube. Reporting from Great Bay Media Studios in Sint Maarten, your NEWSDESK feature story is coming up. But first, here is Mizzy with the Sunshine Report.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with a Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, Sint Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us.
Youth, your voice matters. If you're between 13 and 24, this is your chance to shape the future.
Take the Department of Youth's quick 5 to 7 minute survey and share what matters most to you. Your feedback will help guide programs and policies that make a real difference.
Scan the QR code and take the survey today. Your voice, our future. Together for Sint Maarten.
Touched by breast cancer.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every life, every adventure. Number one provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them is there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Welcome to the BTP Cybercrime Awareness video. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any illegal activity that uses computers, smartphones, or the internet to harm people, steal information, or cause damage. Now, how to protect yourself. First, use strong passwords. Also, keep your devices and antivirus software updated. Enable two-factor authentication. Research before sending money. Use trusted platforms. Log out of accounts on shared/public devices. Scan the QR code for more tips. Stay alert. Stay secure.
Justice Minister rejects paid permits for window tint. Justice Minister Honorable Natalie Tacklin has rejected a proposal allowing motorists to pay an annual fee to exceed St. Martin's legal window tint limits. The proposal suggested linking a special tint permit to motor vehicle tax payments, with conditions such as requiring drivers to lower their windows during police stops. Tacklin says the existing limits are safety measures, not administrative rules or potential sources of government revenue. She explained that the restrictions protect drivers' visibility and allow police officers to see inside vehicles when approaching them. According to the minister, accepting payment for darker tint would transform a safety prohibition into a purchasable exemption and undermine the law's purpose. Requiring motorists to lower their windows during traffic stops would also fail to address reduced visibility during normal driving. However, Tackling acknowledged an enforcement gap because darker tint is prohibited once installed, while the importation of tinted material remains unrestricted. Government will instead focus on enforcing current standards and may examine measures addressing the importation and availability of tinting products. Sint Maarten Sports Federation expands sports journalism training. The Sint Maarten Sports Federation is celebrating its first sports journalism training opportunity offered through its affiliation with Centro Caribe Sports. Latoya Lake of SXM Sports participated in a virtual basic level sports journalism course held from June 4th through July 19th. The program brought together approximately 35 participants from Latin America and the Caribbean. Training covered sports journalism, broadcasting, communication, sponsorship, photography, media relations, event planning, and journalistic ethics. SMSF selected SXM Sports in recognition of its work documenting local athletes, sporting organizations, and national team activities. Lake submitted her final essay on August 17th and is awaiting the program's concluding presentation. The Federation says professional sports journalism is essential to preserving St. Martin's sporting history and bringing athletes' stories closer to the community. SXM Sports also provides young people with practical experience in photography, videography, broadcasting, and digital storytelling. SMSF says the training marks the beginning of a longer-term investment in developing sports journalists and communications professionals while strengthening the visibility of local sports. USM honors Dean's List students. The University of St. Martin has recognized students who earned places on its Dean's List from the fall of 2023 through the spring of 2026. The ceremony brought together honorees, alumni, relatives, staff, and members of USM's Board of Directors and Endowment Foundation. Students qualify for the Dean's List by completing at least 12 credits as full-time students and achieving a grade point average of 3.0 or higher. Several honorees earned the distinction across multiple semesters, demonstrating consistent academic performance and discipline. Each student in attendance received a certificate and USM pin. USM alumnae Rhea Adams and Jolene Augustine shared their experiences and encouraged students to use the recognition when pursuing scholarships, employment, and leadership opportunities. The university also invited eligible students to join its Student Government Association and Student Ambassadors program. USM says academic excellence should serve as a foundation for leadership, community service, and future opportunities. Students were encouraged to remain active in campus life and remember to give back as their academic and professional journeys continue.
Hey there, I'm Venicia Herbert, and welcome to the Community Billboard. This is your space where the people, places, and heartbeat of the St. Martin community get to speak for themselves. Whether it's an event worth showing up for, a business worth knowing about, or a cause worth caring about, you'll hear it right here. So, Settle in, because what's coming up next just might be exactly what you've been looking for. Welcome to the NEWSDESK Community Billboard.
Heavy sweating, weakness, dizziness, headache, nausea. A fast heartbeat may be signs of heat exhaustion. Move the person to a cool or shaded area, loosen clothing, and help them cool down. Confusion, fainting, seizures, or very hot skin may signal heat stroke. Call emergency services immediately. Know the warning signs and act quickly. A message from Collective Prevention Services within the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor.
To be part of our mailing list, send an email to newsdesksxm@gmail.com.
Youth, your voice matters. If you're between 13 and 24, this is your chance to shape the future.
Take the Department of Youth's quick 5 to 7 minute survey and share what matters most to you. Your feedback will help guide programs and policies that make a real difference.
Scan the QR code and take the survey today. Your voice, our future. Together for Sint Maarten.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You could talk to your family, talk to your friends. Affordability and convenience. Community connection, that makes sense. Reliability with experience. Hey, for every love, every adventure. #1 provider, they got ya. We tell them your data is always on. You can opt out whenever you want. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want the road. Control my data, yeah, yeah, yeah. Always connected every time, everywhere. Money low, but I never fair. I know, tell them is there. Connectivity, that's what I like. Flexibility, that's what I like. Reliability, that's what I like. Tell them, sign me up for life. Tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Come tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to go. Come tell them we always on. For every moment when you want more. Tell them we always on. Stay connected when you want to road.
Welcome to the BTP Cybercrime Awareness video. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is any illegal activity that uses computers, smartphones, or the internet to harm people, steal information, or cause damage. Now, how to protect yourself. First, use strong passwords. Also, keep your devices and antivirus software updated. Enable two-factor authentication. Research before sending money. Use trusted platforms. Log out of accounts on shared/public devices. Scan the QR code for more tips. Stay alert. Stay secure.
Before we wrap up, we take a moment each day to check in with our neighbors across the region. There's always a story worth paying attention to. Here's today's regional headline.
Bonaire and Statia strengthen enforcement cooperation. Bonaire and Sint Maarten are strengthening cooperation on supervision and enforcement across the BES Islands. Two inspectors from Bonaire's Directorate of Supervision and Enforcement visited Statia for joint inspections and knowledge sharing with local colleagues. Teams conducted checks at supermarkets, gas stations, and freight locations, focusing on food safety, accurate measurements, and compliance with regulations. Officials say the partnership allowed inspectors to visit more businesses, exchange working methods, and support operators in meeting legal requirements. The initiative is expected to encourage more consistent enforcement across Bonaire, Statia, and Saba. Meanwhile, a Statia residence was temporarily rendered uninhabitable following a fire on Vincent A. Lopez Road. The blaze reportedly started near a washing machine on the porch Saturday morning. Firefighters extinguished the flames before they could spread further. One resident who was inside escaped safely and no injuries were reported. The home sustained heavy smoke damage and temporary accommodation was arranged for its occupants. Authorities are investigating the cause of the fire.
Welcome back. Each day we take a moment to go beyond the headlines and look deeper into the issues, people, and conversations shaping life here on Sint Maarten. Welcome to today's NEWSDESK feature.
Sint Maarten's Festival de la Gastronomy has grown from a relatively new cultural event into one of the French side's signature annual festivals, and its scale is now beginning to match its ambition. Launched in 2021, the festival returns every year from November 11th to 22nd, bringing together local chefs, international culinary guests, restaurants, workshops, tastings, competitions, and special events designed to showcase the richness of Sint Maarten's food culture. At its heart, the concept is simple: celebrate local and international flavors, highlight exceptional products, and put talented chefs in the spotlight. But over the past few years, the festival has become much more than a food event. It has developed into a major tourism, cultural, and economic platform. Internationally recognized chefs are invited to participate. Some host culinary workshops, and restaurants across the French side prepare special menus for the occasion. One of the festival's defining features, however, is its competition among local chefs, with participating restaurants ultimately competing for the title of the island's best table. That competitive element has helped give the festival a distinct identity, setting it apart from many other culinary events in the region. And the numbers show how quickly it is growing. In 2024, the festival attracted 16,379 participants. Around 9,700 people visited the festival village. Approximately 5,000 attended the barbecue competitions, 400 participated in workshops, and 335 attended wine and cheese sessions. Still, around 800 people attended the closing ceremony. But perhaps the most striking development is what is happening behind the scenes. The Sint Maarten Tourism Office creates the concept, selects invited guests, and determines the themes, but much of the actual execution is outsourced to specialist companies. In 2024, 6 local or regional companies were contracted to handle services including workshops, live events, social media management, graphic design, website management, furniture, and tent rentals. Those contracts represented approximately 482,000 euros. By 2025, the Tourism Office expanded the scope, adding services including chef coordination, musical entertainment, communication strategy, event design, and decoration. The estimated maximum value of those services rose to approximately 780,000 euros before tax. For the 2026 edition, the festival is taking another major step. The organization has now been divided into 20 separate service packages, covering everything from security and site cleaning to trophy production, first aid services, staging, printing, communication materials, food management, and culinary logistics. The tourism office is preparing to spend as much as 1.2 million euros on organizing this year's edition. That represents a dramatic increase in scale in just a few years. But it raises an important question. Is Sint Maarten building something much larger than an annual food festival? With more than €1 million potentially being invested in production, thousands of participants, international chefs, local competitions, and an increasingly sophisticated event structure, the Festival de la Gastronomy is positioning itself as one of the most significant culinary festivals in the northeastern Caribbean. The island already markets itself through beaches, nightlife, shopping, and its multicultural identity, but gastronomy offers something different. It gives visitors a reason to travel specifically for culture and food. It gives local restaurants and chefs international exposure. It creates opportunities for caterers, designers, musicians, production companies, food suppliers, and other small businesses. And perhaps most importantly, it reinforces something Sint Maarten has long claimed as part of its destiny and identity, that this is the culinary capital of the Caribbean. The question now is whether the size of their investment will translate into an even larger economic and tourism return. Because at 1.2 million euros, this is no longer a small festival. It is becoming a major cultural product. And if the growth continues, Sint Maarten may not simply be hosting one of the region's premier food festivals. It may be building a culinary event capable of attracting the Caribbean and the world, to its table.
That's all the time we have for today's edition of Sint Maarten NewsDesk. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday at 8 a.m. on TV15 and across all our social media platforms. From all of us here at NewsDesk, we wish you a fantastic week ahead. Until next time, stay friendly, Sint Maarten.